What's going on, guys? It's your boy Dipsy, and today I'm bringing you guys 5 lessons I've learned from living in the hood. So I've lived in quote unquote 2 different hoods in the Massachusetts area, and lesson number 1 is just mind your business. Mind your business. You know, one thing I've realized is you could be in a bad circumstance or situation, but that simply just means that you have to rise above your circumstances. And depending on what your circumstances are, it's going to be easier said than done. However, you're going to do yourself a big favor and you're going to skip a lot of bullshit coming your way if you just simply mind your business. And I cannot stress this enough because a lot of people have a hard time minding their business. You know, you might see gang activity. You might see drug deals. You might see strippers, prostitutes. Mind your business. You got to focus on yourself in your life and sort of ignore your circumstances to the best of your abilities. Because more often than not, a lot of what I see a lot of people being intrigued by the negative stimuli in their environment and caving into the pressure. They're worried about what their friends are doing and what their friends are up to, negative or not, and they end up indulging in that negative behavior themselves. And that ends up being the downfall of a lot of people living in the hood more often than not. They simply didn't mind their business. You might see someone getting jumped. It might not be the best move for you to just jump in and put yourself physically at risk for a situation that you weren't even involved in. You should just keep it pushing. You should just keep walking. Honestly, and you know, it might sound cruel for me to say that, but it's not always the smartest move to put yourself at risk in an environment where it's not beneficial. That's just the truth. You got to play smart. You have to think smart. And one of the smartest ways that you can conduct yourself is simply minding your business. You see something, you feel a weird vibe, you feel like something's about to go down, go the other way, mind your business. You don't always have to see, okay, what's about to happen? I got to be here, I got to record. You don't have to do all that. You're doing too much. Now you're about to find yourself in a sticky situation. And contrary to what the media wants you to believe, it's not as dangerous as you think. It's really not. You just got to mind your damn business. That's all. That's all. Mind your business. So that's number 1. I've learned, you know, just mind your business, stick and move how you want to move, and rise above your circumstances. Number 2, this lesson is pretty simple. One thing I've learned, well, the second thing I've learned about the hood is that people would rather be competitive with you rather than build with you. So what do I mean by this? You could go to a party, right? You know, it's the summertime. You go to a nice party. You're looking fly. You look like you got money. You know, the average dude in the hood, he's not going to have the thought process of, this dude looks like he has money. You know, let me pick his brain and come up with some business ideas with him and figure out how we can get money together. No, not these dudes. They're going to come from the perspective of, this dude has money. Let's figure out how we can finesse him or how we can lick him. They think about taking things from you. People think about how they're going to flex on you, how they're going to show out and look like they're better than you. They don't think about building and growing with you. And that's one of the toxic mindsets I've learned is just permeating throughout the entire hood. People don't realize, and people don't function as a team. No one's moving militant. No one's moving with structure. It's always, I'm going to figure out how to flex on you and I'm going to try to take what you have. And it's a very toxic mindset. And once you can learn to see that toxic mindset, you can rise above it. Because I don't move like that. I'm trying to figure out ways to where I can uplift the kings around me and how we can figure out and put ideas together to build an empire. But very rarely will you run into an individual in the hood who's on that same mind frame. And that brings me to my 3rd lesson I learned. The hood, it basically instigates a very short-term mindset. So it puts you into the trap of having a short-term mindset because the circumstances are often, you know, I guess by, you know, conventional standards, pretty bad. Therefore, you tend to not have a long-term mindset in the hood. You're figuring out how to make it through the day by day. Okay, today I'm gonna do this, and then I might do this the next day. You're not thinking months and years ahead. Most people aren't. because they haven't even gotten the chance to figure out their immediate circumstances. So they can't even focus on the long term. So you want to figure out, if you live in the hood, start thinking long term and setting things up for the long term. That's what I've learned, because it's very easy to fall victim to the short term mindset, because you have all these flexers and, you know, people, there's a lot of substance. There's not a lot of substance, sorry. There's a lot of flash, but there's no substance. There's a lot of flash, but no substance. A lot of people flexing, you know, shiny rims, nice cars, but no properties owned, nothing under their names. Everyone's renting. No one really owns any property. That's one thing I've learned. You know, you've got immigrants coming from China all over the world buying up properties in these people's area where they've been at for generations, and they don't even have anything to their name. It's unfortunate. But one thing I know for a fact is it's a mindset. It's literally a mind virus. How do you have someone come overseas with nothing to their name, and 20 years later, they own 100 times what you own? It's a mindset. There's no excuse for that. There's no excuse for that. So I've definitely learned that the hood permeates a very short-term mindset, and that mindset is very toxic in terms of actually owning wealth and building yourself up. Another thing is the police treat you different. I mean, that's really a no-brainer, obviously. You know, if you go to a very, you know, affluent area, let's say, you go to a very affluent area, these police are very bored. You know, like most of the crimes that get committed are white collar crimes, and we all know the criminal justice system does not give a damn about white collar crimes, even though they're the worst type of crimes. They like to put their attention into violent crimes, which, you know, it goes down in the hood, but it's overblown by the media. But nonetheless, the police will treat you different. You don't have to be a gangster. You don't have to be a pimp. You don't have to be someone doing illegal activity. But if you're in the hood, that's the lens they're going to look at you with, because that's what they deal with to some extent on an everyday basis. And they don't really care about, you know, the police are trained not to trust you. I hope you guys know that. They're literally trained not to trust you. So you have to have that same mindset and understand these police ain't your friends. You know what I'm saying? And they're not going to have a strong sense of urgency to help you, because they're looking at you from the same lens they look at all these criminals in. So that's another lesson. You know, the police treat you differently, of course. Lesson number 5. Let me make sure I didn't forget this one, because this one was pretty important. Oh, yeah. So watch out for junkies and prostitutes. Now, why do I say this? I made this the last lesson for a reason. You can't help your circumstances a lot of the times. You might just, you know, you might just be in an area where it just, you know, the junkies just happen to meet there, or the prostitutes happen to get picked up on your street. You got to understand, this goes back to lesson 1. Mind your business. Because more often than not, they are very, they're what is known as hot. Like, they're hot boys, because the police know these people, best believe, especially if they've been doing it for a while. So you don't even have to, you could be a law-abiding citizen, but you just being in the vicinity, if something were to happen, like, you know, a drug bust, or they really crack down on the prostitutes on that street, you're in trouble, because you're around that area, and it's a mess. You don't want to involve yourself in that, and you want to minimize your interactions with them as much as possible, because, I mean, if you're just walking down the street, you're not going to walk around the hood on a daily basis and no one talks to you. It's just not going to happen. So minimize your interactions to the best of your abilities. You know, just keep it pushing. You really don't have to say much, but do not be in an area with those two populations for more than like 20 seconds, man. Even less if you can, because trust me when I say the police know them. You don't want to be seen around them, even if you're just passing by on multiple occasions, because the police literally are going to start to associate you with whatever activity they're doing, because the police don't really do their due diligence. They just assume a lot of shit. That's the truth. So on that note, guys, this is 5 lessons I've learned living in the hood. Hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. It greatly helps out my channel, man. More content coming soon. I'm gonna catch y'all later, man. Peace out.